Welcome to the Society of Cryptid Hunters podcast. Josh and David are just two regular guys who share a passion for cryptids and our world's weird and unknown things. Please follow us on your favorite podcast platform and consider supporting us by subscribing or liking our show. Join us on our journey as we delve into the world of cryptozoology.
All right, Josh.
Hey David, how's it going, man?
I'm here, man.
How's the weather up in the northwestern part of the United States?
It's actually sunny today, believe it or not. It has
Ah,
not snowed once this year in Washington State.
what?
Um, believe it or not. Yeah, I
We
heard
got snow in Texas before you got snow in Washington?
yeah, I seen the pictures for that. That was quite wild. Yeah, no, it
Oh my
hasn't.
goodness. That's just
Um,
crazy.
I don't know if it even is going to. It's kind of weird. Whatever. Been doing a lot of duck hunting.
There you go.
Yeah, been made duck fajitas.
Nice. Sounds amazing. No hunting here. No.
What are we
Just
talking about
hunting.
today, Josh?
Well,
What are we talking about?
we're gonna do kind of a continuation of the episode we did about Imminent, Lou Elizondo, and also the disclosure of UAPs. So not necessarily a crypto episode, but like I said before, just kind of ties all in together. We are going to do episodes like this once in a while. Plus, David and I both also have a passion about this topic, and there's been a
Nice.
lot going on. We haven't had an episode in a while, which is, par for the course. That's how we do our show. If we don't have anything to talk about, we're not going to try to put something just out there, but we are going to get together and get something good for you. So I think, well, a lot of stuff we're going to talk about today is really going to recap what's happened, man, probably since last November on
Right.
to now. Now it's a new year. Happy New Year, by the way. Happy 2025. We're here.
We made it.
Made, we made it. I don't know what's going to happen this year, but hey, if you got your bingo card ready, do you think disclosure is going to be on it? Maybe. Let's find
Hey,
out.
before we start, I actually saw that Jeremy Corbell released. I haven't watched the video yet. My apologies. I've been super busy.
Yeah.
Been going back to the work after the holidays, but the title of the video was the government's going to release a statement and it's going to be fake.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Let's get right into this. So,
Yeah.
Josh, you very fantastically sent me a copy of Lou's book. The last time we talked, I had not read it. I had watched I had seen the UFO hearings. I had listened to him talk on podcast. I watched another one in between that of him talking. The last time we talked, you had met him. Yeah, so I got the book. I
Merry
read it.
Christmas, by the way.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thanks for it. I read
Yeah.
it over the Christmas holiday. I
Excellent.
actually, you're gonna think this is funny. On Christmas, I read that book while watching. I don't know if you've ever seen the show. I think it's on Discovery. It's called The Alaskan Triangle. I love
I've
that
seen
show.
it I've seen it on streaming. I can't remember
For all
where.
of us that, because it's great because it deals with cryptids and UFOs. So that day I watched all that, watched like a whole season of it, and I read this book. I actually so I didn't know what I was gonna think about it going into it, but I love it. I liked
Yeah.
it so much I would read it again. And I don't
Yeah.
read books twice.
Yeah. I mean, I think reading it again is a good idea anyway. I haven't yet.
There is so
Um,
much in it.
yeah, the
Uh,
catch stuff you missed too, because I wanted to get through it before I saw him speak and everything. So, plus I don't want to read mine now. Mine's signed. So, I don't want to
I will.
damage it.
I got it signed. I will say it's not a boring read. It flows
Oh,
really well. Um, he talks about a lot of stuff. Some things, I mean, I know a lot about this, and I know a lot about the subject matter because I've worked in aviation for almost 15 years now. But um, there's some things I was like, what is he talking about? And I had to look it up, like certain things. So let's get right into it. One of the things
yeah.
he was talking about is AI will ruin UFO videos, which I do agree with that. At some point, um, in the last like 3 months, I'll say like there's been a lot of stuff on the internet as far as, especially, we're going to talk about it later in this episode about the Jersey UFO videos, and I think they're even in Ohio and Indiana, and
There lots of they were in lots
Pennsylvania.
of states, but we'll get into that.
But so yeah, so there's a lot of videos on the internet. I love watching them. A lot of them seem like nothing, and some seem pretty amazing. We'll get more into that, but so one thing I wanted to talk about, and in the last time we talked about this, I said that maybe it was direct energy. I want to say I no longer think that. And I'm more, after reading the book, I'm more into this topic that I wanted to bring up to you. In the UFO hearings, like we talked in the last episode, the non-human biologics.
Yeah.
He talks about um how there was four beings recovered from Roswell. He brings up Roswell,
Yeah.
basically throughout the whole book. Like you talked on in the last time we talked about this, that there was the bubble, that the UFO creates its own basically force field bubble, and that an EMP from a nuclear testing probably popped it, and that's what made it fall to the ground, and there was a crash. And you
Yeah.
had said that
He said it
no matter
very,
what.
very matter of factly that that's what happened. That's how he said it. Like
Mhm.
it's just common knowledge. It was really
Well, what I watched
shocking.
what I watched today, I can't remember if it was in the book or not, but what I was watching him talk today is he was saying that he has touched in his hands UFO uh matter. I don't know, like a recovery
Just
uh
materials and yeah,
material. Yeah, I was trying to
yeah,
think of
yeah,
the word material.
yeah,
In his hands, and he claims that who gave it to him to let him touch stated it was from recover crash retrieval from the UFO crash in Roswell, which is super fantastic and
yeah,
fascinating. And he references a lot in the book. Like you said, that something happened. Probably
yeah.
wasn't a weather balloon, because I don't think a weather balloon makes that much debris, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the pilot, because he said that during that time that there was four bodies that were recovered.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the book, he dances around this about what they actually are, but
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up, and I want to bring he brings up David Grush, which I thought was great, because when he really came forward, David Grush hadn't come forward, but when this book when he released the book, David Grush had come forward, and I think that he probably added that later. I think he was probably finished with the book and then added the David Grush part, because they'd known each other
Possibly.
prior.
Yeah.
Because David Grush hadn't come forward when he had initially came out and was doing the To the Stars, which I'll talk about later.
Hmm.
Um, but what I and why I think it's not direct energy, and why I don't think it's like, some kind of um weapon where they can, where I was talking before, it might have like some kind of mass hologram where it could have, it could throw off instruments. Um, I th- be, because there's these we obviously know there is some kind of um craft, and because we were talking before about the G's, I think um I think it was piloted by something, and I want to get into what it was piloted. Kind of funnily, have you ever seen the movie Moonfall? It's a very
Uh,
very funny
yes,
movie.
I think
Cause
so.
it's a sci-fi movie. It's
Yeah,
where they
did that come out like right before the pandemic or
No, it came out like
was
in
it way before then?
22 or something.
Okay. Mm.
Anyway, so in the movie, spoiler alert, they go to the moon, and the moon is actually a giant Dyson sphere, which it was placed there by aliens. And it was based there to like monitor us. Well,
Mm.
inside of the moon is this entity, and the entity is basically like a cybernetic being. So it's basically like an AI piloted robot. Kind of, you could think about it kind of like Terminator 2 or something.
Yeah.
So it was like, but it was a sentient, basically. It could think, but it was excuse me, it was alien made, but it was made. So I did a deep dive in this, and a lot of people believe that in this topic that these craft are piloted by um manufactured beings.
Yeah.
And the reason I always want to bring this up again, on our podcast, neither one of us are scientists, believe it or not. But
No.
but
Not even close.
with the sheer amount of G's force that are going, I
Yeah.
was gonna when I started reading this book, I was thinking like, couldn't it be like some sort of cybernetic like like cyborg that like some kind of being that is mainly machine, but might have like blood moving through it, like that's also it, it's more of a vessel and less intelligent. It's it it's so hard for me to explain what I'm trying to say, but like because before I said that with the G's that it's flying around with, that it would basically be soup afterwards. Um, and that's my other problem. Like, what's this thing breathing in? We had talked before, like, yeah, it might not be breathing in oxygen, it might be breathing in on their planet, they might be a lot more nitrogen, and that's what it's based
Yeah.
off of. But and the other thing I wanted to bring up is specifically on the craft, like where's the like with an F-18, there is exhaust coming out the back. Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, there might be a gravity drive, but where's like the battery expelling anything out of? I mean, I guess it could be kind of like an electric car doesn't expel any emissions, but
Right.
you know, it was it's super fantastic. And I will say that the more I read the book, the more I used to think that Lou Elizondo might have been a misinformationist, to where like they that somebody fed him information so that he would put it out there, and it would actually um the right hand would not show what the left hand is doing, like a
Yeah.
magician.
He's been accused
Um,
of that quite a bit.
He's been accused of it quite a bit. I listened to a podcast like 2 years ago where they were like, "Is he a useful idiot?" I don't like that term because I think it's negative. And after reading the book, Lou Elizondo is not stupid. He is smart. You met him. You
Yeah.
physically met him.
Yeah.
You said I mean, you're a good judge of character. You
Yeah.
could
I mean,
tell that.
shook his hand, down to earth guy. Very, very nice. I mean, it didn't even feel like an act. It felt like he was a genuine dude. And I was like amazed, just amazed. So,
So he talks about how that there was he states that there was a crash retrieval program, and it started uh, around the basically off the Roswell incident, right?
right, right.
So I'm going to throw this idea out there. The United States, since basically World War II, we have this term where we say, as the United States, we say, speak softly and carry a bigger stick.
Ah,
Well, the United States has been literally the global superpower as far as like their military might since basically World War II, and it's been proven since then. Well, I get that we, with the Manhattan Project, that's a whole separate topic. But however, um, if we had crash retrieval technology, we have the bigger stick.
yeah,
If we have in the back scene, if we have been, dealing or using anti-gravity propulsion for that we barely use, but we have like we have it, we have the bigger stick, no matter what anybody says, no one's going to mess with us with that.
well, to kind of play off of the retrieval program, January 15th, 2 days ago, as of this recording, another whistleblower
Oh,
came out. Jake Barber was in the U.S. Air Force veteran, and he believes he was involved in recovery of an alien technology. Um, as he may have worked for the long rumored secret UFO retrieval program, and asked if it's true. He said it is because I was a part of it. He describes some things that he would retrieve and realize like he was never told this is what it was or anything, but he could see like basically what was crashed while he flew a helicopter to go help with the retrievals, and he would see things that looked extraordinary and strange, unusual. And you could tell there was something special. One he described one thing looking like a giant egg, and he's like, "This is nothing I've ever seen
Like
before."
the Kettsburg.
Yeah,
That was like a
yeah,
giant egg.
yeah,
Yeah, or they actually said it looked like an acorn. Anyway.
yeah. So this is the new whistleblower that just came out, and this is good because this is something like to go back to Elizondo. What he was saying is the way he's doing things. Could Elizondo really blow the roof off everything? Yeah, he could. But the
Hmm.
thing is, the way he's doing it by not doing anything that hasn't been already declassified, it's making it a level playing field to where you don't get that stigma of being crazy to where it turns off people like now with Jake Barber to come forward and say, "Hey, I saw these things. I saw a giant egg." And you're like, "What? What's this guy talking about?" But because Lou and others have worked so long, it's a slow process, man. But I don't think people like Jake Barber would come out, and I think with a lot of things going on, more people will come out and start saying things until the government is going to have to acknowledge something at some point because yeah, everything just going on now, just kind of how they drug their feet over all the stories, and now you turn on the news, you don't see anything about it. So it's interesting.
One thing we didn't talk about, Josh, last time,
Yeah,
that we talked when it came to this subject is Tom DeLonge. I don't know if you know who Tom DeLonge is, but he's
yeah,
in this band called Blink 182.
that's correct. Yes, he is.
So in the book, he brings up all of that. I had actually like 3 years ago watched the show that they were on.
Hmm.
I forgot what it's called right now.
Yeah, yeah. Say
There's two there's two seasons of it. Um, but Tom DeLonge contacted him, and what's funny about it, you read in the book that Lou Elizondo was like, I don't know who this dude is. But his kids knew who Tom DeLonge was.
yeah,
But Tom DeLonge had him move to California, and at that time, um, which I'll get into a minute, but like he had
ah,
already left the Pentagon, he had already left his position, he literally basically quit. He doesn't like the term whistleblower because he says he is a patriot, and he said that there's a stigma on whistleblowers because he doesn't believe that because he still actually holds his secret clearance. Um,
yeah.
but Tom DeLonge was like, "Hey, we're starting this company. It's called To the Stars Academy, but the only stipulation is you got to come to California."
California. Yeah,
And he was like, "But I have a house," and his wife was like, "Well, you don't have a job, and is this actually going to pan out?" And so, long story short, he moves to California and starts working and doing the show with Tom DeLonge. The show is actually really interesting. I haven't watched in season
it's
two.
actually it's called. I just looked it up really quick for you. It's called Unidentified Inside
Yes.
America's UFO Investigation.
Yeah, I've only watched season one. I rewatched it again before we did this podcast.
Ah,
Um, I haven't watched season two. That in the book they talk about that um that they s- that Lou actually isn't employed by them anymore,
no.
for several reasons. Um, and he has no love lost for Tom DeLonge. And it seems like it was a great scenario. It was probably a good segue between two jobs, for Tom DeLonge or for Lou. He went and worked for them. And then after that, he basically lived in an RV with his
Yeah,
family,
yeah,
which is also crazy. And when you read about the RV part, um, you think of like, and you think about that and you read about how he talks about his wife. It's like, what are we doing?
yeah.
That's another. I forgot to bring this up. The orbs. You remember about in
Oh,
the beginning of the book
the
about
ones that
how,
would follow him home.
yeah, so he would talk about how there would be these orbs, because in ufology, there's orbs that they think, or that ufologists like us think that orbs are also UFOs, but these orbs would just show up in his hallway and move around, and his wife even saw them, and she was
Yeah.
like, "What is this?"
Well, he said his neighbor saw him and said something about
Yeah,
something about what's all that stuff. He's like, "Oh, is this some of your top secret government work stuff?" And he's
yeah.
like, "I can't tell you." Uh, But yeah, that's some crazy stuff. It's like I don't think a lot of people would just play that off, but I guess they did. So, and it was like everybody that worked with him too, which is interesting.
Um, Also, I wanted to talk about so Lou was working for this crazy secret organization called ATIP,
Yeah.
and he basically left it. But before he left it, his supervisor was like, "Hey, I need you to come in here," because he had submitted a report, and he's like, "I'm not coming in there," because he thought he was going to get arrested over it. And his supervisor basically threatened him.
Mm.
And he talks a lot about the threatening part about this. And when I first originally listened or heard about Lou, I was like, yeah, well, whatever. Like, um, if he's a whistleblower, like, if he's really truthful, like, somebody would be taking him out. But he talks about all that too, that he's been threatened.
Yeah.
He lost his job that obviously got paid a lot. I don't know what he got paid at the Pentagon, but I'm sure it was like a 150 to 200,000 probably job.
Yeah.
He's obviously credible. And again, you met him, so obviously know what we're talking about because we have you to tell our listeners that
We have
yeah.
firsthand contacts. What do you call it? Contact of the
Oh,
first kind.
uh, do you want to jump? I was thinking about talking about either the Tic Tac or the gimbal next. That he talks about in the story or in the book.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that was yeah, because when the Tic Tac came out, he was really big on pushing that on YouTube and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because
Yeah.
he said so. Okay, so he said three videos that he
Yeah.
wanted to release, um, and that got released because of somebody else, which he doesn't name, but he said it was the Tic Tac that got released,
Uh-huh.
the Tic Tac video, the gimbal video, and the Go Fast video were released.
Right.
And they accused him of releasing it, but it wasn't him
Right.
that put it on the internet. And then obviously they had to talk about it, which I also he talks about this he talks about this DHS video in Puerto Rico. Um, it's on page 87 of his book. But I watched it, like it's just like this thing that moves across, it's a obviously a FLIR video where this thing moves across like
Like the octopus looking one.
no, that is not it's not the
Oh,
octopus. I love the octopus looking one.
yeah.
That's one of my favorites actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of videos he talks about in that, and um, but if you read the book and you think about the videos, you understand now that like now I think all the videos that are coming out now is because of him and
Mhm.
because of what he started and because of what the snowball that is rolling down the hill. He was the snowball he was the person that put the snowball down the hill
Yeah.
for all these videos.
It just keeps on getting bigger. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff that pops up all the time now too. Especially, with what's going on all over the country as well. So it's like it's just becoming, I don't know. It's getting to the point because I think even somebody brought up I know I probably said this in the last episode we talked about this where when they were doing the Q&A session, somebody asked about, by 2017 they need or I'm sorry, 2027 they need a disclosure for some reason or another. And he actually said, "No, I think it's going to be sooner than that." But I didn't think like things would get like crazy like they are now to where it's beyond come. I mean, like the drone situation in Jersey and all that.
So
Um,
I think we should start talking about that. So since you just brought it up, start talking about that.
yeah, no. So we had the big craziness, and we obviously didn't record or talk about it It's kind of quiet now. Other than now, we have a whistleblower coming out. So it seems like when UFO or UAP type stories come around, they get kind of big, then they die off, then something big comes up. So it seems like like you said, a snowball effect. It's just a rapid pace of all these things coming at us right now. So back in November 18th, this is like end of last year, 2024, a lot of people in New Jersey along the Raritan River, I think it's pronounced, began seeing like several large drones just flying around. Started being like an every night kind of thing. Just a large amount of drones that are sizes of the buses. I mean, all kinds of things. The 22nd, the FAA issued temporary flight restrictions over the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey. It was even to the point when Trump, who will be inaugurated soon, said that he's just not going to go up there just because of how things were. I mean, there's attempts on his life twice, and why even risk when we don't even know what's going on? Why are there hundreds, if not thousands, of these things just flying around? So drones is what we're being told through the media. So 25th, the FAA had to issue another set of flight restrictions over the Picatinny Arsenal military base in Morris County. On the 26th, there's a drone sighting that diverted a helicopter rescue near the Raritan Valley Community College.
Wow.
December 1st and the 2nd, there are more drones spotted near the Booton Reservoir. And then on the 3rd, Morris County Prosecutor's Office reported that drone sightings pose no threat to public safety. I don't know how you know that, unless you know what they are. That doesn't make any sense. So if you know what they are, say what they are, and that they're no threat. You just can't say something's no threat. Like if you see a giant Sasquatch at the end of the road, and you're like, I see a Sasquatch, and then the government says, don't worry, it's no threat. Well, the Sasquatch, if it's angry and you go up to it, it will rip your arms off. It's just kind of like that thought process. Like nothing to see here, folks. Just keep on doing your normal things. Go watch reality TV or something. Don't question it. So, and then December 10th, Senator Cory Booker urged federal authorities to provide more information to calm the public fear. So more things were coming out. They're not really, no, I don't think there's any real reasoning behind it all. Nobody said what it was or what it is. UAPs became a topic with it, where some of these things kind of meshed in with the drones. And then it's just like more people's looking up at the sky than they usually have. So they're seeing airplanes and stuff that
Right.
everybody's looking down at their phones anyway. So why would they look up at the
Satellites.
sky? They see a satellite fly. Oh, there's a drone. There's an airplane. There's a drone. But those are common things. But my thing is that there's hundreds, if not thousands of them, and then there's some that are flying low or doing the same path every night. It gets a little suspicious and kind of weird. But I have like 5 conspiracy theories for you on
I
these
love it. Let's do it.
drones, on what I've heard and what I've discovered. One of them is that it is a surveillance and reconnaissance. They believe the drones are part of a covert surveillance operation, possibly by the government or private entities to monitor specific areas or individuals. So that's one thing. They're just surveilling the area. Great. Another one, this one got a lot of buzz, is the searching for hazardous materials. There's
Like
theory
the
suggests
nuclear
that,
one.
yeah, they suggest that the drones are equipped with sensors to detect hazardous materials such as gas leaks or radioactive substances. So the idea gained traction after a drone manufacturer speculated that the drones might be smelling something on the ground. There are some interesting videos, and like you said, it could be AI, it could just be doctored stuff or special effects, whatever. People can make all kinds of stuff now, where you
Hmm.
can see like look like a drone was shooting lasers at something, and there's one where it looked like they're spraying chemicals. I don't know if you
I've
saw those
seen
ones.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, which is very interesting. Another one. This one kind of hit the rounds, but I don't think it really hit the general public as much. But Project Bluebeam. So it's an old conspiracy theory. You've heard of this. Has came back claiming that drones are part of a larger plan to project holographic images into the sky to create fear and confusion among the public.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another one, this one I like. I think I thought about this at first, like this could be it, but then the more I thought about it, how I don't believe this is it at all, is foreign espionage. Some speculate the drones are operated by foreign adversaries, conducting espionage or testing the response capabilities of the U.S. airspace defenses. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe that's it. Reason being is if that's the case, why aren't they using them in other countries?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
It's like if it's Russia, they don't. There's Ukraine doesn't have a bunch of drones. Now there was
No,
drones in the UK.
yeah, I'll give my opinion on all this at the end, but yeah,
Okay,
keep
all right.
going.
And another one is just some distraction tactics. So theories that the drone sightings are a deliberate distraction from other significant events or issues, such as political scandals or corporate issues, things like that. So maybe that was going on. The government was doing all that while we were paying attention to that. Something else is going on. Now it's done because I hardly see anything about the drones anymore like I was. So it was
No,
just,
I don't see it at all anymore now.
yeah, it's great. It was like such a big thing. And I'm like, well, something's going to happen. What's happening? And then now they might still be showing up every night, but nobody's covering it anymore.
Well, I'll tell you my first thing I'm gonna say about the drones over New Jersey is a lot of the videos I saw there were navigational lights where navigational lights for people that don't know much about aviation is there's a left and a right, a port and a starboard part of the aircraft where the left, which would be the port side, would might have a blue, and the right, which would be the starboard side, might have a red. So if they're blinking blue and red, just like, maybe a police officer or whatever, so that's a navigational light. Um, well, a lot of these drones were having that. So obviously, like there were a lot of people that were just, I think honestly there was a lot of people who were just putting their drones up
Yeah.
during that time. But the
Yeah.
idea that where there were people that were like, hey, these drones are also the size of my car. I can't explain that.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't. The other aspect of it is there's obviously um a national security part of this that you're not going to hear about. You, the president that is about to get inaugurated on Monday said that he would tell you what's about to happen. If it happens, we will do an update to this video and I'll let you know what he says to it.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I will tell you my experiences with UAVs. I've seen lots of them. Um, I don't obviously live in New Jersey. I think it was Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and
East Texas had some too, apparently.
yeah, of course it did.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Ohio was one.
I've seen a lot of drones, and drones are big and they're small, and they do a lot of things. And we have drones, and other command or other countries, I'm sure, has drones. I don't know a lot about other countries' drones, but I know a lot about our drones. Um, but the apparently people in New Jersey are scared of the drones that are coming there. So
Yeah. 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 Yep. There's a lot of people. I mean, everybody's walking around looking up in the sky, like, or just even it became a thing every night. They're outside just watching them. And then you have guys out there shooting them with their shotguns, trying to.
I actually, yeah, I thought about that actually. It's funny that that's what I was about to start talking about, Josh.
Yeah.
So I thought about that. I'm like, what am I gonna do if that happens? And the Texan in me, even though I don't live in Texas, I thought of like, well, I'll just go get my shotgun out and I'll start shooting up in the sky at it. Well, so recently, in the last like I think it was like the last month, I started, looking up in the sky because there's not too much light pollution where I'm at, and I look up and I see a lot of lights where, and this is my thing, where I don't know, I can't explain what I'm trying to say, is because like there is like the Elon Musk uh what is it
Starlink.
called? The
Starlink.
Starlink, yeah, where
Yeah.
it goes in one straight motion. And then we
Yes.
know satellites exist, but like when I look up in the sky, like um at night, like I see things go all over the place. And we know like the rotation of the Earth, and like I obviously don't think, by the way, the Earth is not flat. Um, like I understand that there's going to be satellites that rotate the Earth, but like they shouldn't be going the other way, and they shouldn't be going like diagonal way. And I see that in the night sky. Like if you just sit there and look at it, you can see stuff like that. I
Apparently,
don't
if
know
you
what that
look up with
is.
a night vision, you would see crazy things.
Lou talked about it actually.
Yeah.
Um, Joe Rogan talked about it. I don't own night vision's like $10,000, by the way.
Good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I actually have, this is kind of fun, to tie all this together. I actually have five things that Lou has said about the drones.
Okay, I want to hear it.
So, Elizondo, first of all, this is about the lack of transparency. Elizondo has criticized the federal government's handling of the drone sighting, stating that they are not being honest with the American people. He believes that these drones were legally operated. They wouldn't because that if these drones were legally operated, they wouldn't be causing shutdowns of military installations.
Hmm.
So they're not legally operated. Now, I did with some of the stuff I've seen and read and a little bit, that drones are supposed to have some sort of when you there's like something you can do to sense it and it's supposed to have its ID sent down so you know whose it is. I don't know, I forget what it's called, but a lot of these aren't putting out that signal of that it has a ID, which is interesting. Anyway,
Yeah.
another one that Lou says is significant infrastructure. So he noted that the drone's capabilities and the coordination required to operate them suggest that they are not typical recreational drones. Instead, they likely require significant infrastructure and resources, which are usually available only to state level actors. Another thing Liu says is he described the public messaging surrounding the drones as a catastrophe, highlighting the inconsistency in the government's response, from initially claiming no knowledge of the drones' origins to later describing them as routine aircraft. Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Roswell. Did I say Roswell? Oh my gosh. Roswell. I'm thinking about an old town I used to live in, Rockwall. Never
Oh
mind.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, and then the last one, he has urged the federal authorities to be more open and transparent with the public about the nature and purpose of these drones to alleviate public fears and speculation. So, my theory is I don't know who is running them. Oh, I don't know who is running them, but I do think it's something that it was a test run to see how people's reactions to something like that. Um, in case there actually is UAPs, I don't want to say invasion, that sounds like straight out of a movie, but if UAPs and disclosure happen and people are more aware that the drones might be something, because we've been kind of getting numb to things over years with movies and everything else.
Absolutely, yeah. I
Like
completely agree with that.
if there's a zombie attack, you know what to do. Like we've seen enough movies. But it's just like alien invasion movies. It's like surprised we don't have one every year. It's just actually they're probably I think Netflix just put one out. I can't remember. Yeah, anyway. But I digress. But but it's just that whole idea is like I think it's a staged play to get more people conditioned to things. I think there's just a lot of conditioning that's been going on with people ever since like World War II and on. Just how um that just with television in general, being able to broadcast things and get people to believe a certain way. I mean, we're dealing with things right now, even politically. So it's kind of hard. The lies and truths, it's hard to decipher. So I don't think there's any threat in these drones. But I mean, I think it's a mixture of a lot of things in the sky to make it look like a lot more. But I do think it might be something that somebody's playing it off to get the reaction. But why New Jersey? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm here to tell you, Josh. Um, I know a lot and I know a little at the same time. Um, the New Jersey part of it, I don't know. However, I don't think it's a big deal. And I will tell
Yeah.
you this right now. Um, and I will tell you I don't think it's a big deal. However, I want it to be more coherent, what that is, and it should be more in and you know I always talk about with podcasts, like I love podcasts and I get my news now from podcasts because I do not like legacy news because like
No.
it's not real. It's not real
Yeah.
anymore. And I don't care what anybody says. Um and you can call me whatever you want to call me, but I know more than the people that are saying what they would want to say to me about that because news is not news anymore. Um but I would do want to say that there is a huge there is people right now that want to make Lou Elizondo the UAP czar. Did you know about this?
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So because we were about to get a new president, not getting into the political part of it,
No.
because we don't do
Well,
that
I mean, we're
on this
sticking to
part.
facts. We're sticking to facts.
We're just taking the past, and we don't do political stuff on this podcast. But however, like there is a huge thing about how they want Lou to be the UAP czar. So like as a part of the fact checking and the whistleblowing and all that, like there was a huge um movement for him. And it happened last month and I started reading about it and I was like, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Um let's go back. I wanted to talk about this actually. Um it wasn't Christopher Mellon. It was what is the guy's name that died? Harry Reid. In the book, Harry Reid died, and Harry
Yeah.
Reid was basically everything for the whole movement when it came to it. And in the
Yeah.
book, like
Yeah.
he died um at the end of the book, but like he basically put the whole everything into motion, and like it wasn't for him, none of that would have happened. And Lou basically like dedicated everything to him because obviously he wouldn't have been able to do all that if it weren't for Harry Reid.
Yeah. And it's crazy. You know what? It's crazy too because when you watch the news and they the legacy media tells you what they want you to hear, how they want you to think. But I never knew anything that Harry Reid did anything like that. I just heard about his fighting with him and Pelosi always fighting everybody and this and that, and that's all you would hear. You didn't hear about these other things and like the good that both sides can do and do want to do. Like even Chuck Schumer right now is big on the there's people on both sides of the aisle that want to get this.
I looked into a little bit about the Harry Reid thing recently, and um, he wasn't vocal about it, but they think that he had some kind of experience with this whole ufology stuff.
Wow.
Like, yeah, and that's why he was so passionate about it.
Yeah.
But he was it. Between him, Tom DeLonge, you got to him props for it. Um, I will say that I hope there's more videos that come out more. I hope that uh Jeremy Corbell puts more out there. I hope Coast to Coast puts more videos out there. Um I will say that Josh, do have our uh Facebook group that we are very active on, and I'm going to start posting videos on that, and we're going to be more active on it as far as like the videos we post on and with our cryptids, obviously, because the cryptids is
I'm
our
sure everybody's getting
second.
tired of my Bigfoot jokes, so I
Yeah,
can.
exactly. Yeah. So I mean, yes, we were probably 70% cryptids and like 30% UFOs, but like we're gonna be posting a lot more stuff. And I did want to say, Josh, that like, we're gonna be a lot more active here in the year 2025. Um And Josh has people that we're gonna start interviewing. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm really excited to see more videos. And if you're out there and you have videos, start posting it, or actually add us to your Facebook, or add to our Facebook group and start posting it. We want to see that. We want to start growing that as a community. We want to start growing as a community. We're going to start doing more. 2025, we're going to start doing a lot more as far as like that. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. And you know what's even funnier? I just got a Facebook notification from 2 years ago, my son hugging an alien outside of the Roswell McDonald's. That doesn't say we need to do more. I don't know. I don't know what else does. But yeah, no, guys, it's tough. We're two guys, we live in two different states, and we love the support that we get from our friends, family, everyone else. People we don't know, welcome you to the club. But yeah, tag people, get the group bigger. Let's get a conversation going. Love to get some more interactions, especially on the group. It's hard every day trying to find stuff to post, but we get more people to post and get those discussions going. It's great. So, but yeah, I've had to like actually turn some people away too. So,
Hmm.
um, just because of there's one question you have to answer. It's not that hard, but just be legit. Um, yeah, whatever, whatever. It's easy. Not like a judgy person or anything. So,
So mainly we talk about cryptids, but we love UFOs, and there is a correlation between the two of them. And in the community, in our community, the community we like to talk about, the community we like to spend our time talking about it as a relaxing time. This is our community. Um, Josh, take it away.
yeah. So thank you for listening to the show. If you made it this far, really do appreciate it. Make sure you find us on all the podcast sites, Spotify, iHeartRadio are the two big ones. Apple Podcasts is probably the most listened to one. So thank you. But if you do listen to it, make sure you like and rate it. That would be great. Maybe throw a comment on there because what that's going to do is help the algorithm jump up and get more people to see it so they can listen to it and do the same thing. David and I, we don't make money off this. We do it because we have a passion for it. Like you said, we're gonna do more. We do a lot of cryptozoology, but if you look at the early episodes, we do talk about UFOs and even
Man
conspiracy
in
theories,
Black,
other things like that. I guess it's kind of like a poor man's
Nuclear
coast to
Report.
coast in a way, if you want to call it that.
Oh, and by the way, Josh,
Yeah,
we're gonna start doing interviews.
yeah, we're gonna work to get some guests on here and maybe not interviews, but more like a conversational thing. I don't
Mhm.
like sitting around asking tons of questions,
Yeah,
but
but we're
yeah.
very, very nice conversations.
Yeah, yeah. So it'll be good. It'll be good. So stick around. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification buttons when this our episodes are, we do like two a month and we get them when we can. So it's not really a schedule. I know I wish we could, and I know if that's something we want, we could try to do, but we need to hear from you. We need to hear from our listeners and our supporters, and we really thank you for listening and supporting us for this journey that we're on. So thanks, David.
Thanks, Josh.